Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm an earth pigment painter and slow-living filmmaker. Together with my husband, I enjoyed some slow days at the Côte d'Azur in the south of France. We took this trip to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary this year. We explored beautiful nature areas, romantic French villages, and discovered why this place makes it easier to connect with a slower pace of life. I woke up early. My husband was still asleep, so I enjoyed a slow and quiet morning by myself. I listened to the beautiful melodies of all the birds waking up. I stared at the calm, wide open sea and watched the sunrise above the hill as I listened to affirmations. I use affirmations to increase my feeling of confidence and trust in order to grow as an artist, filmmaker, and person. I really feel like it lifts my mood instantly and strengthens me in the long run when making this a solid part of my morning routine. We started our trip by visiting some of the gorgeous old little villages that you can find here, often located on the top of a hill. Our first stop was in Mougins, where Pablo Picasso lived the last 12 years of his life. It is almost impossible not to be enchanted by the beauty of this place. The soothing warm color palette, the textured old stones, the amazing scent of jasmine flowers everywhere, and all the details and visible love that the inhabitants put into this place. We were lucky being here early in the morning. Shops and cafes were slowly opening their doors, and not many tourists were there yet, so we could soak in the special energy of this place. Next, we visited the beautiful old hilltop village of Saint-Paul-de-Vence, where famous painter Marc Chagall lived for 19 years. Unfortunately, we only lasted for 40 minutes in this village because it was getting so crowded with tourists that it really wasn't fun for us anymore. we hopped back into our car and escaped to the old town district of Nice. There we enjoyed a delicious lunch, beach vibes, and the beautiful and colorful architecture that you'll find here in the south of France.
Going away to come up higher, giving pine straw to the fire, turn the boxes right side down, tired pulling every day, all the shifting. Can we take it? Drawing circles in the sand, blushing out new plans, sing out blue whale, old man in the water, slow motion, ocean river, carry on into the sea changes. Sea changes, carry on into the sea changes. Sea changes. Moving closer to the breaking waves, wild country full of heartache, hard to hear through all the ringing, what the silent deep is saying. Sing out blue whale, old man in the water, slow motion, ocean river, carry on into the sea.
Je was wel heel snel de hoek om. Wil je even lopen, maar dan iets langzamer? Niet zo gek doen. Oui, d'accord. Il danse.
When you would have to choose between sunrises or sunsets, which one would you choose? This lovely apartment here in Miramar, with its panoramic window overlooking so much of the sky, let us in fact enjoy both sunrises and sunsets. But it also made me realize something very interesting. I noticed that I naturally woke up with the sunrise and the singing of the birds every single day, and I felt happy to get up. After only a few days, I could tell almost exactly what time it is just by looking at the color of the sky instead of looking at the clock on my phone. This made me feel so much more connected to the outside world, to nature in such a natural and effortless way. The incredible view of these sunrises was so inviting to get up early and enjoy the morning simply at your own slow pace. Enjoying the ever-changing scenery with a hot cup of tea in your hands and waking up your body and mind with the feeling of peace. The amount of tourists was a bit overwhelming to us the day before, so the next day we tried to escape the crowds by going for a hike in the Esterel Mountains. We quickly realized that we were not the only ones having that idea. Nevertheless, it was definitely more peaceful and quiet than being within the buzz of the city. We were gifted some spectacular views, and I absolutely loved the red color of these mountains. Of course, I dreamt of collecting some earth pigment at this place to be able to paint with the amazing color of these mountains when I'm back home in the Netherlands. To my surprise, the ground and the rocks we were walking on were extremely solid and hard. Too hard for me to turn them into pigment powder in my mortar and pestle. After 3 hours, we were almost at the end of the hiking trail, and I was about to give up on my dream, when suddenly there appeared a small section on the trail where the surface became softer. I finally found the pigment I was looking for. What a treat to end our hike with. My husband is a passionate motorcycle driver, and I sometimes join him on the back of the bike. We rented a motorcycle for one day to explore the Gorges du Verdon, a mountain area with a canyon and a river. We also visited the village of Moustiers-Sainte-Marie, which is located in this area. It is a beautiful, small, old French village that has a waterfall flowing right through it. After driving past quite some tourists on famous lookout spots, we found a place just for the two of us, far up in the mountain, with a spectacular view. We enjoyed our homemade lunch there. It's hard for me to put this view into words. It was really kind of magical. There were so many butterflies flying around us. In the far distance, you could get a glimpse of the Alps covered in snow. The rock formations close to us were so impressive, as were the clouds on that day. A mesmerizing, living painting as only nature can create. As we loved exploring the Gorges, we decided to also drive to the Gorges de Daluis, where I found another beautiful color of earth pigment that I can paint with. On our last morning here in the south of France, we discovered that there is a secret entrance into the Esterel Mountains right behind the Airbnb apartment that we rented. It led us to official hiking trails, and again we enjoyed some beautiful views of the mountains and the sea, as well as wild lavender and other beautiful flowers around us, with lots of friendly buzzing bees. There are several aspects that I feel make it easier to practice slow living in the south of France. First of all, we need to acknowledge that the definition of slow living might be a bit different for everyone. To me, it means a couple of things, like implementing mindful rituals in your life that help you to be in the present moment while feeling peaceful. To me, it also means connecting to nature and its calm seasonal rhythm, as well as connecting to the creative spirit within you, for example by making art or practicing a craft. Here in the south of France, there are quite some more sun hours during the year compared with the Netherlands, which makes it easier to live more outside of the house and feel more connected to nature. I also noticed that the air here in France was filled with the beautiful scent of jasmine flowers in April. This felt so inviting to open the windows first thing in the morning and take a deep breath. I loved the architecture of the old French houses so much. Being surrounded by those beautiful earthy and pastel tones, a warm and soothing color palette that just so happens to be my favorite, definitely increased my feeling of happiness. Seeing the love and passion for those homes and the gardens, there is simply an appreciation of beauty here that you can see and feel. This place helped me to realize what I truly appreciate in life, in people and in my surroundings, and I can't wait to explore more of this country in the future.